got Senna coming into the stadium section. Here he comes. So he's got a 22-second lead over Tezza. Obviously, with Tezza coming in for a pit stop for the soft tyres to do the fastest lap. But it's going to be Senna out of the final corner. He's going to close the gap in the championship to Tezza Mother. It's going to be 28 points as things stand. But if Tezza can pump in the fastest lap here on this final lap, then the gap will be 29 points going into the final two rounds of the season. Obviously, we've got next week at Las Vegas, and then we've got the double round. We've got the sprint and the Grand Prix at Brazil to round out the season. But Tezza around the final corner. Is it going to be the fastest lap of the race for him? He comes over now, and it is the fastest lap. Was it ever in doubt? He takes it. He takes the extra point.
Not really.
19 points for Tezza tonight. That means the gap will be 29 points in Tezza Mazda's favour going into the final two rounds of the season. Horatio comes over to complete the podium ahead of Matty Pitt. In fact, Papa Squanch gets Matty Pitt on the penalties. So Papa Squanch fourth, Matty Pitt. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We are back here tonight for the Formula One League. We are coming to the crunch part of this season, the penultimate round of the season. This is the first ever race at Las Vegas here at Motive on the EA Sports Formula One game. My name's Andy, and I'm joined in the commentary box by my good friends Gertjan and Ian. Gertjan, welcome along.
Good evening, thank you.
And Ian, welcome along. Ian's not feeling too well tonight, unfortunately. He's he's had his tooth taken out, which means that he's in a lot of pain. So he's going to be chiming in as and when he can, but for the most part, it will be myself and Gertjan doing the heavy lifting here tonight, shall we say? But we're fully up to that, obviously. So we're going to be taking you through the action, most of it here tonight, and Ian's going to be keeping his Hawkeye out for anything else going on out on track that he will be letting us know about, I'm sure, in due course. But coming into this penultimate round of the season, the championship's still very much in the air, with Tezza Mazza currently leading the standings at the moment. He's been leading the championship since the early stages, but he has got Senna tearing after him. Tezza Mazza managed to get a very good start to the season and was pulling away in that championship battle, but in the last few rounds, Senna has been doing nothing but making the points up in that championship. The gap 29 points between them. Tezza Mazza sits at the top of the standings on 250 points, with Senna in second on 221. Papa Squanch sits in third place in the standings. He's currently on 139 points, with Toaster in fourth on 94 points. You can see the rest of the standings on the screen in front of you there, and that just really paints the picture of how close it's developing between these top two. And it wasn't looking like we were going to have much of a championship battle this season, was it, going? It was looking like Tezza was going to romp home to an easy title, but in these last few rounds, Senna has made a real fight of this.
Yeah, I was afraid it was gonna be like the championship I won, just basically down to some bad luck from Senna being taken out or just not being able to participate in a few of the opening rounds. But he is really going for it in the final few rounds, so we'll see what that brings. The gap is close right now, and maybe he will be able to close it down.
Obviously, one last time out of Mexico City, he was able to capitalise on Tezza's difficult start to the race, albeit I think he did have slightly better pace than Tezza throughout the race, but Senna would obviously be frustrated to see that Tezza was able to follow him home in second place. These two, it reminds me a little bit of Verstappen Hamilton in 2021. They are clearly the best two on the grid, albeit Cameron on his day can get himself up there. And a couple of other drivers as well can, on circuits that they really like, they can put themselves in a mix. But it seems like these two, they are clearly a level above the rest. And so for Senna, it's really hard to take significant points off of Tezza, because Tezza's always there to pick up the positions and pick up the points whenever they're available.
Yeah, exactly. Mike is rejoining the grid today, so I'm curious what he'll be able to do. He might be able to definitely sneak in the top three, maybe even challenge for the win. Who knows?
Yeah, if he can upset the championship contenders, this could be ideal for Senna. Maybe he might be the one to get in between them, but Senna would obviously be hoping he's able to take the win. As we see Sadak there doing the fastest time of this session so far. One of the newcomers to the league, obviously making his debut here tonight. We've got a few debutants out on track here tonight. We've got a few people leave the league, but obviously we had to replace them, and we've got a few new faces out on track. And Sadak there, just pipping Papa Squanch to pole, provisional pole that is. It's still early stages in this session, but Papa Squanch there, less than 400ths of a second off of the fastest time. Little Greavy currently third in this session at the moment as he's going through the middle sector. Nathan, also one of the newcomers, as well as MDJ. So we've got 3 out of the top 6 at the moment are newcomers to the league. So lots of new drivers out there, and it's going to be exciting to see how they cut their teeth into some action here, because it's a competitive league here at Motive in this F1 league. So it's not going to be easy for them to find their way, but I suppose you've got to start somewhere. And with the season coming towards an end, I suppose it's going to give you that confidence going into the next season, knowing that you've raced against these guys a couple of times and maybe you've gone toe to toe with them.
Yeah, it's always nice going into another season knowing who you're up against, knowing what to expect, and who you are most likely gonna fight. Whilst Senna goes to the top of the standings with a 32.4. But yeah, it's always good to get a few rounds in, get to know the guys, know how the racing is, and just be a bit more prepared for the next season.
Senna 7/10 of a second quicker than anybody else at the moment, as Papa Squanch has written off his Ferrari. So that's Senna's teammate, who's going to be starting no higher than third place here in this one. Senna's not going to have his wingman alongside him on that front row. That is 100% guaranteed here. Tez's still yet to set a lap. He's out there on the soft tyres, so he'll be looking to try and maximise out there right now. But yeah, Senna doing a fantastic job here in this session so far. And yeah, exactly what he needs to do at this point, because he's got to make up the points. We see there 7/10 between himself and Sadek. Papa Squanch quite close with Sadek in terms of his lap time. I can actually hear myself in the party chat. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, not many drivers have set a lap time. Gerden's just left and come back, so maybe. Yeah, but just use your phone like you always do. All right, check out Gerden's thing. I don't understand why he's telling us now. Just glad that this is this is only recorded. We can cut this bit out. We need to be talking in case something happens. Tezamaza here, coming into the final sector. He's currently on a pretty good lap by the looks of things. He's just coming towards the end of the middle sector. And what can he put on the board here? Obviously, lots of long straights here at Las Vegas. Not too many pivotal corners. It's all about managing to get the job done in those heavy braking zones, managing to maximize your speed through these so a lot of slow corners as he comes into this 90-degree left-hander. Now, what can Tezza do here? It's a quick right afterwards, and here he comes. Tezza Muzza up towards the end of the lap now. What is his first lap time going to be? Flat out through his final left-hander, and he goes to the top of the leaderboard there by 200ths of a second. So Tezza Muzza, the championship leader, saying to Senna, you can come after me all you like, you can chip away, you can try and gain some points, but you're going to have to be on your A game if you want to have any chance of winning this championship here, son.
Yeah, exactly. PT10 in P3, not far off either. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, he's doing a cracking job.
What a lap. What a lap.
We see in the background, welcome at Las Vegas, Nevada. Obviously, a very iconic venue here that we're racing at. Lots of recognizable monuments out by the circuit, which we're all going to see in real life, obviously, next weekend. And it's going to be great to see this, obviously, in real life. But it looks pretty cool on the game. But we've got V10 Ultra, who's currently on a lap. He's 3 seconds off of his personal best, so he isn't going to improve on his current time, which is going good enough for P3 as things stands. Tezza's currently out there, but I think he's on an in lap. I think he's almost certainly is, or maybe not actually. I don't know. Hard to tell at the moment. He might actually be pushing here, so Tezza could be going for another flying lap here. Is he going to burn his tyres out? It doesn't matter though, because saying that you don't have to start on the tyres you qualify on. No, he's on an in lap, so yeah.
He didn't have the DRS activated, so.
See, Gertian knows these things because he's a driver. He's a former F1 champion. I myself never played this game. I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Did actually do a few laps about a week or so ago around Spain, and managed to get in the 111s, I think.
11. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
did an 11.9 around Spain in time trial, which I was chuffed to bits with on the pad as well, which I've never done. I've always raced on the wheel, never been a pad user, but I don't have a wheel at the moment, so pad was the only option. But yeah, I was pretty happy with that. I was only 4 tenths off of Gertian's time. Although apparently Gertian's not very good at the track, are you, Gertian?
Nah, I hate Spain. Spain really is Spain without the S for me. I hate it so much. Never go well around there either. Oh, I actually won it in my championship season, but I just don't like it. I don't know, just a personal thing. Never go well around Spain either, to be honest.
Yeah, I've always quite liked Spain, to be honest, as a tracker. It's always been an enjoyable circuit for me to drive. Um, I wouldn't say it's my absolute favourite. Favourite is probably either Spa, maybe Monza. Um, but yeah, it's one that I've always quite enjoyed. But so I guess that's probably why I've managed to get onto the game and do a decent job of it.
I absolutely love Spa. I did 12 hours on the track last weekend.
Yeah,
But yeah, I love Spa. Been there for one of the Formula One races last season, or well, this season because we're still going, of course. But probably my favorite track, as well as the Nordschleife. I love the Nordschleife.
actually, big news about that is that the Nordschleife is coming to ACC very, very
Yeah,
soon.
I think start of next year, if I'm correct.
I believe so. Yeah, I think it's going to be a free add-on. From what I'm led to believe, I think it's going to be part of the actual game itself.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's either gonna be a free add-on or they will introduce it with the 2024 update, but it's gonna be a waiting game for sure, and then we'll find out.
Standing at the top of the leaderboard there by a tenth of a second. Yeah, fantastic lap there from him. And we were riding on board with him as that happened. So he's pulled that one out really nicely there. Tenth and a half is, ahead of Tezza Muzzo, who's still in the pits at the moment. So Tezza obviously can't respond to that at this particular moment. But I'm sure he'll be getting himself out there as soon as he can on some fresh soft tyres because he needs to respond to that. But Senna doing a fantastic job here. V10 Ultra in third place. Senna obviously hoping that a couple of drivers might be able to get in between them here in this session. We're still yet to see, I think, Mike's full potential because we remember Mike, he used to be right up there, didn't he? Challenging for wins and podiums when he used to race here before. Maybe he's just getting used to the game potentially at this point. I don't know.
I was chatting with him. Oh, he is
Oh,
losing his entire front wing there. Whew. But yeah, I was chatting with him today about his debut. I think it was season 5. He did his debut, or was it 4? I think 5.
I see the
Where
race that I always remember about him was Austria.
yeah, that was his debut.
That was.
Yeah, I was talking to him about it, and we were talking about the fact that you thought he won the race, and then the time penalty
Yeah,
what still happened.
yeah. I remember that. I'm not gonna lie, and I like obviously I was gutted because I was so excited at the fact that he had managed to make those tires work, and he had stayed on the inters for the entire race. Or was it the wets he had stayed on? I can't remember which way around it was, but
The enters.
yeah, he
I
stayed on
went
the
to the
inters.
wets.
Yeah, the track was soaking wet, and he'd gone on the inters, and he managed to make them last until the end of the race. You were all over the back of him, and I didn't even notice he had a penalty. So when I saw that he had lost the position, I was like, "Oh, that is a shame."
Yeah.
It was gutting. Like just
At the end,
to
it
see that.
clearly was the right call because my engineer was talking to me during the race, the in-game engineer, and he
Hmm.
said the rain was gonna get less, but it was extremely wet, so I just went on the wet and thought it was the right strategy, but he pretty much nailed the strategy in that race. Brilliant.
Yeah, he definitely he definitely he definitely rolled the dice, and it worked out absolutely brilliantly. We can see most of the drivers in the pits at the moment as they're now just putting fresh tyres on, getting ready to go for the final part of qualifying here. The two championship contenders are 1 and 2, but it's the other way around from where they sit in the standings. It's Senna who's the one chasing down Tezza in the championship, who sits at top of this qualifying leaderboard. He's 29 points adrift. He's currently a 10th and a half to the good of our championship leader, Tezza, who's currently out on his outlap at the moment as Senna exiting the pits, getting ready to go for another assault on this Las Vegas Grand Prix circuit. I don't actually know the name of the circuit yet. I don't know if it's got a name, but I'm just going to call it the Las Vegas Grand Prix circuit because that, I think, makes the most sense. As we see Liberty walked out of the session now, so is Little Greavy. Papasquanch was out in the early stages. So 3 drivers here DNFing from qualifying. It's a street circuit. I suppose it's easy to get caught out. I think the only surprise is that we haven't lost more drivers so far.
Yeah, extremely around this track. The grip is extremely low on the Formula 1 game. It's so hard to get a car to do exactly what you want. Easy to get oversteer, the walls are close. I wouldn't be surprised to see at least 4 or 5 people DNF this race.
Yeah, I think you're right. As we can see the two guys now almost coming towards the end of their outlap here. I think Tez will be the first to start his lap. But to be fair, there's a few drivers that aren't too far away here. Beaten Ultra within 3/10 of a second. Sadek and Cameron both within half a second at the top of this leaderboard. So they can't get themselves to the top of the qualifying leaderboard. Then they will probably be able to keep
Mark
the
Bow
top two on
retired
their
as
toe.
well.
Yeah, he hasn't set a lap, so he'll be starting from the back. So that is gutting there for
Yeah,
Mark
he
Bow.
was on his flyer lap, but just before the long straight, he DNF'd, put it in the wall.
We'll never know what lap he was about to post there. Binding Code is well off of everybody else at the moment. He's currently 4.5 seconds off of the pace, so I wonder if he's got anything in his locker to try and produce here at the end. But let's ride on board with Tezza Muzza here on his final flying lap here of this qualifying session, coming into tonight with a 29-point lead in the championship. Came second last week at Mexico with a fantastic comeback drive. We all thought he was in trouble and they'd be losing loads of points to Senna in the early stages of the last week's Mexican Grand Prix, but managed to fight his way back up into second place briefly. We thought he might have a chance of winning because the strategy put him in the lead of the race, but then Senna on the fresher tyres was able to catch him up and easily negotiate him and pull away. But for a few moments, we did think that Tezza might have a chance of winning last week against the odds. But currently, he's trying to find that elusive 10th and a half, which he's got adrift to Senna at the moment. Senna's still setting that provisional pole time. But Tezza was coming down this long straight where you're going to find that the tyres are a little bit cold by the end of this straight because they haven't really done any turning. They haven't really done any sort of proper grind as he's 2.5 tenths up on his personal best coming through the middle sector. So Tezza on an absolute flyer here. If he can keep this up through the final sector, he will be on provisional pole position here. As the track's rubbering in, as you said before, Gertie, and the grip is not very good around this track, but it improves lap after lap after lap because this is not used for racing. But he does. Oh, he misses out by 1,000th of a second. Oh, that's incredible. That is unbelievable. He's going to be absolutely devastated with that one as Sadek has crashed out of qualifying here. So he's going to be starting no higher than P4. Cameron might fancy his chances of getting onto the second row. It's a pole sitter. Sadek has crashed out of qualifying as well. Incredible stuff. Cameron's on his final flying lap, but he's a 10th down on his personal best, and he's got to negotiate the yellow flag zones, which are going to be flying because of Senna. Oh, Senna. Oh, well, it doesn't matter because he wasn't. I mean, I tell you what, right? If Tezza had gone 2,000s quicker, Senna would have been, I think, pretty upset with that one. As we see somebody else crashing in the background, but Cameron coming to the final corner, can he improve? He goes up into third place. So I tell you what, Gayan, he found absolutely bags of time in that final sector. I reckon he had messed up that final sector on his previous run. If he managed to do personal bests in his first and second sectors there, I reckon he'd have been on pole.
Yeah, exactly. I
He
think
was 2 tenths down in the middle sector.
I think he might have even be a little bit quicker, wasn't it, for Mike who crashed at the final sector? But yeah, I think we are set for a very exciting race. The top 5 within half a second, top 4 within 3/10. Well, that could get interesting if we get a DRS train.
And look how close the pack is as well. At 1.8 seconds covering all 15 drivers to set a lap. Obviously, Mark Bow didn't set a lap here in the session, but they're all so tight. Binding Cope is the one who was a bit of an anomaly, but he managed to produce his best form here at the end of the session. So we are definitely in store for a really exciting race here tonight at Las Vegas. I'm absolutely privileged to be able to be commentating on this, and obviously with the championship battle as exciting as it is, but yeah, Senna needs to be winning this race if he is to have a chance to close that gap. But he's got a few drivers who could potentially wreak havoc here for Tezza, with the likes of Cameron, V10, and Sadek poised and ready to fight for this win. But Gertie, I've got to ask you the $1 million question. Obviously, we always speculate, but who are we reckoning is going to take the win here tonight? Who's your favourite? Who's your pick?
Ooh. I think I'm gonna go with Senna. He put it on pole. He must have been practicing in order to try and maximize his pace, try and get this championship home. Starts on pole, and I think I'm gonna go for him.
I have to agree with you. I think that Senna's definitely going to be the favourite for this one. And again, the commentator's curse, maybe not a thing because we're not streaming publicly. Obviously, they can't hear us.
Yeah.
They have no idea what we're saying. So maybe this commentator's curse isn't a thing at this point. Who knows?
Maybe not. I have no clue if the commentator curse ever worked on me, to be honest.
To be honest, it was only ever me commentating by myself. I didn't do predictions when I was commentating by myself.
Yeah.
So there's no record,
Well,
unfortunately.
I can remember you doing it with who was it? Max, I think.
Oh yeah, we might have done. I might have done a few predictions with Max actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually thinking about it, yeah. Um, yeah, I think you're right. But we did a few comms. We didn't do too many. I think we commentated on a few races in the early part of season 5, I think.
Yeah, and I think
Season.
Felix joined for like 1 or 2.
Yeah, I remember. Felix was in F1. Oh, we're getting straight into the race here. No formation that. We're about
Yeah.
to go lights out here for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Here on the Las Vegas Strip, here at Motive Racing, and it is lights out and away we go.
Tezza and Senna on the first row.
Here we
Who
go.
will
Oh,
get
it's
it
Tezza
into
down the
turn
inside.
1?
Yeah, he's done him there. Tezza runs up into the lead as Vita Ultra around the outside of Cameron. Cameron trying to hold his ground as he manages to lose out there to Vita Ultra. Vita Ultra up into third place, but Tezza getting the crucial start to the race. Vita Ultra on the soft tyres. Can he challenge the front two here? He's going to be trying to put them under as much pressure as he can on those faster tyres as we're all charging down this straight. And looking in the background here, potentially a move going on. Nathan here making a move on the Grieve. Down the inside, he goes up into 9th place. And we can see Mike there moving ahead of Andrew Pittsmith up into 14th. Oh, is Liberty Walk making a mistake there and losing a couple of places there. So Liberty Walk down to P15. V10 Ultra has moved ahead of Senna up into second on those soft tyres. But he could also potentially make a move on Tezza as well because he's also got a tyre advantage over Tezza. So Senna needs to stick to the back of him and try and make the most and maybe to capitalise when V10 Ultra puts the pressure here on Tezza.
Senna really needs VT10 to overtake Tezza, ideally, and of course, if that is gonna happen, if VT10 is gonna close on the back of Tezza, he is certainly gonna hope for a crash, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, Freddie's just lost out there to Nathan, and the Grieve is banging wheels here. The Grieve and Freddie as they come down the straight. But currently, Freddie's just about lost out there to the Grieve, and he's back in the slipstream though, looking to the inside. Is he going to try and send one here into this next slow corner? As you can see, the Grieve here also looking all over the back of Nathan. But Freddie going down the inside there, and in fact, he's made the move there on Mark Bowe, should I say? So Mark Bowe was challenging on Freddie. But Freddie's got back ahead of him there. But a great battle going on here between these two. Can Mark Bowe come back at him? He's looking to the outside. Freddie covering the inside, coming through the final corner. That flat out kink. Mark Bowe's made the move there up into P10 into the final points playing position. And Liberty Walked is in the pits at the end of the first lap with damage. Obviously, we saw earlier on. No surprise there to see him coming in as MDG's moved ahead of Mike. These two having a battle there over 12th place. And Mike's going to have to concede that one for now by the looks of it. Oh, Senna's been tagged around by Cameron. Oh, no, you couldn't make this up. You could not make this up. Senna's facing the wrong way. Oh, he needs a safety car now. And Cameron there tapped him in the rear and took him around. Was it Cameron? I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it was because Cameron's dropped a load of places as well. Oh, no.
That is something we will definitely see after the... Yeah, Cameron let him by as well. That was definitely on Cameron. Oh, Senna will be fuming with that one for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I know he's doing a sportsman-like thing, but at that point, I wouldn't even bother giving the position back. I'd just get on with my race and just take the penalty because there's nothing you can do that's going to make that better in that situation. Just from my personal point of view on that one. But binding coat nonetheless all over the back of Mike. It's little Greavy has moved ahead of Sadek there up into 4th place. As these are all in a close battle here. Nathan now looking on the back of Sadek, but can't make anything happen just there. As Binding Code here looking to the outside of Mike. Mike has actually made the move on him up into 11th place. And Mike tapping MDG in the rear there as Andrew Pittsmith tried to make a move there on Binding Code as well. So much action going on here right now. MDG has got Mike all over him here in the slipstream. As Mike trying to make a move here for the final points playing position. Into the final corner we go. Trying to ride over that curve there on the inside. Trying to take a tight radius there. Into turn 1 we go. Mike down the inside up into P10. Lovely move there from Mike. Cameron's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. So he must have had damage from that collision with Senna. In fact, he's retired. Cameron's throwing in the towel. Cameron is retired from the race. As Mike
I don't know what to say
tapped
about that.
MDG in the rear. I tell you what Senna needs now. He needs a safety car. And I tell you what, it's just not the most craziest idea. It's definitely possible because it's a tight street circuit where everything's condensed down. Oh, it's sad because I say that. I spinned it. We got a VSC. We got a VSC. Is that going to be upgraded to a safety car? Let's see. Doesn't look like it because he's getting going again. As he has lost his front wing. As Mike's got a penalty for a collision there with MDG. As these two just seem to be having a bit of handbags. What is going on there? Sadek is now out of the race. Did he crash or did he retire? Looks like we've still got a virtual at the moment.
I think we're gonna stay with. Yeah, I think we're gonna stay with virtual.
I wonder if Senna he could come in to the pits for hard tyres under a VSC maybe, and I'll probably go to the end from here. Just an idea, maybe. I don't know. What's he gonna be thinking at this point? Do you reckon?
To be honest, my experience around this track isn't a lot. VT10 is coming in on the softs, so that is of course the right call to make. But I think Senna's gonna stay out.
Well, we're still under VSC at the moment. He's staying out for the time being, so he's obviously trying to make some places here and damage limitation here in this race. But yeah, he can't really afford to finish behind Tezza, and Tezza's currently doing the business out front. He's got 4 seconds of a gap over Papa Squanch. He's doing everything he needs to do at the moment is Tezza Muzzer, and as things stand in this race, if the race were to end at this moment in time, Tezza would actually be the champion already.
Yeah, I think ideally Senna needs at least a P1 with Tezza a few places behind him. At the moment, it looks like Tezza is having everything in control, just cruising home, ticking off the laps. Lap 4 of 25 in the lead, 3.5 seconds. Nothing really going on for him at the moment. Already 3 DNFs, lap 4. So I'm curious what the rest of the race is gonna bring us.
Yeah, around Las Vegas, I'm not too surprised to see so many drivers biting the dust here, but Senna's got a lot of work to do here in this one. As I was saying before, Tezza at this stage would actually wrap up the championship with a win if Senna was to stay 7th. I don't think he is going to stay 7th, but the gap 29 points coming into this one. Obviously, after tonight, there's going to be 8 points available for a sprint, 25 for a Grand Prix win. It's the fastest up point, I think, in a sprint. It isn't, is it?
Just in the main race, not in the
Yeah.
sprint.
Yeah, after this round, there'll be 34 points on the table. So Senna only needs to outscore. Sorry, Tezza only needs to outscore Senna by 6 points, and he's the champion. So if Tezza were to win and Senna were to come second, it would actually the championship would be done here unless Senna were to get fastest lap, in which case he would have an extremely outside chance of winning the championship.
Yeah, I don't think the chances of Senna are big anyway coming into this round, but we might be able to see some drama. Perhaps a DNF for Tezza could turn it entirely over, but it's gonna be a waiting game.
That would be the quieter turnout here because at the moment Tezza's got this race under control. He doesn't need to push that hard. He's got a solid gap. He's obviously got pace around this circuit. He's clearly put the practice in and put in the graft. So he's just doing what he has to do at the moment. and he has no need to really extend himself. Papa Squanch, it's obviously Senna's teammate there, running in second place. Can he be the thorn in the side here? Can he back his teammate up and put Tezza under some pressure here? At the moment, it doesn't look like it. As Freddie here looking out to the outside of the groove down the inside into turn one. And sorry, not turn one. Sorry, I don't know this track at all. I do apologise. I don't know. I have no idea the configuration of this track. I'm sorry, but the Grieve managing to get back ahead of Freddie up into P5 as they're coming round the final corner now. This is the final corner, and back out onto the straight again. As Beaten Ultra's made a move here on MDG up into 10th place. So nicely done there from Beaten Ultra. He can now focus on Mark Bow, his teammate, who's just up ahead of him there in 9th place. As Freddie's still on the back of the Grieve at the moment. Obviously, these two have swapped positions in the last lap, and are we going to be seeing these two continuing to swap places here?
I think if Freddy can stay within DRS, there is quite a big chance of him overtaking him. The straight is incredibly long. You just need to be in the DRS really and make the pass. It's not really a hard track to overtake at all. Bit like Baku in that way. Incredibly long straight. Just make sure you're in the DRS and the overtake is easily made.
These two have got Senna currently reeling them in. Look at this. You can see Senna's less than a second now to Freddie. So whilst these two battle, it's bringing him closer, but he's going to be at the rear of a DRS train, and we all know how hard that can be to negotiate, and especially the fact that these two are not going to be leaving any quarter. They're going to be fighting this one with everything they've got. So here comes Freddie with DRS open for him as he now looks to the inside. And is this going to be job done here for Freddie? I think it is, as he gets that one. Yes, he's up into P5 there for Freddie. Liberty Walk just crashed out of the session. I think safety cars might be on reduced here because we've lost 4 drivers due to crashes, and we haven't had one safety car. We've only had a brief PSC. As the Grieve there. Oh, Senna there trying to make a move here on Freddie. Around the outside he goes. That's a brave move there. He's got a lot on the line here at the moment, and Freddie holds on for the time being. Beaten Ultra fastest lap of the race on relatively fresh hard tyres.
He has some pace around this circuit. He was up there in qualifying, sending the fastest lap in the race. I think he got a drive-through somewhere in this race. Otherwise, he would have been way higher.
I reckon it'd probably be potentially even putting Tether under some pressure. The pace he's going at.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the gap is. Let's put the gap to the leader up real quick. 29 seconds. I don't think he's gonna end up ahead of him, unfortunately.
Oh, there's contact there between the Grieve and Freddie, and Senna's right there in the firing line and just manages to squeeze through the gap. I tell you what, Senna's race must have flashed before his eyes there. That was a heart in mouth moment there for him. But he navigates his way through beautifully there up into 5th place. As in the background, side by side here between Freddie and Grieve, as Freddie has got the Grieve on his inside there. But the Grieve's now got the DRS, not the DRS, the slipstream there off of Senna, but makes the move there nonetheless on Freddie up into 6th place there for the Grieve. As he taps the rule a little bit there. All contact as Freddie just goes into the back of the Grieve a little bit. But it's all fair between them at the moment. Oh, no, Mark Bow has tapped the rear of his teammate there. The two Mercedes coming together. A bit like Hamilton and Russell, although nothing like the Qatar collision, but similar circumstances. And MDG up into P10. V10 Ultra comes off way worse in that one. A silly move there, I have to say. Mark Bow continues on his merry way there in 8th place. It's binding code into the pits here at the end of lap 7.
Freddy on the outside, turning into the inside for next corner. And I think he will gonna make the move.
Yeah, job done. Although, the Grieve trying to get a cut back here, but it's not going to be able to do so. Freddie holds on to that one. He's come to the inside here for this next section and just squeezing him out of road there. Not allowing the Grieve to work any space there around the outside. And Freddie looks like he has got that one done. But these two trading places right now, and they're losing time to Senna, who is pulling out a considerable gap between himself and them. Senna currently 18 seconds off of the lead at the moment, but if there's a safety car, it could bring him back into contention because P5 not too many cars in between himself and Tezza. You would imagine Papa Squanch isn't going to make his life too difficult, so that kind of takes one out of the equation. So really, he's got two drivers who he might have to fight in between himself and Tezza if there's a safety car. But that is a big if, isn't it, Gertie? Because at the moment, it looks like no matter what happens, every single crash that happens, the safety car it's not coming out.
It's just refusing to come out, just like we're racing on Monaco.
I think Burt Myland has said, you know what, I don't like driving this Las Vegas circuit, so please, if we can just avoid this scenario, I'd appreciate it.
I
Yeah,
don't
maybe.
blame him, to be honest. I don't blame him.
Neither do I. I wouldn't have a clue where I was going. I mean, as you know, I would just be thinking it's the last turn. I'll be thinking it's a right-hander when it's actually a hairpin or something. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, I'd be lost around this circuit. I'm so glad that I'm commentating, even though I can't really tell you where people are on the track. I have to look at the map to have any sort of clue as to where the people are on the track. But nonetheless, MDG currently falling off at the back of V10 Ultra a little bit here. So V10 Ultra now 5 seconds behind his teammate Mark Bow, who he had that collision with a couple of laps ago. But MDG has got no answer to V10 Ultra's pace at this particular moment in time. Tezza still leading the race at the moment by 9 seconds now over Papa Squanch, continuing to consistently extend that gap. Papa Squanch just doing his thing there in second place. He's got a bit more pace than Little Greavy. Little Greavy, he's doing quite well on the hard tyres actually. Only 11 seconds off of the lead. He's just quietly going about his business at the moment. Got to say, he's just plugging away.
Yeah, been a dark horse this race. Just doing what he needs to do on the hards. I think he definitely might be able to challenge for P2 once we get a round of pit stops in.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be in the hunt for the podium. As we can see the Grieve looking down the inside of Freddie again. And there's contact there this time again between them. Oh, no. Handbags between them. They just keep it out of each other's way there. The Grieve managing to get the move done up into P6. That was close there from those two. Freddie trying to come back at the Grieve. Is he coming into the pits? No, a bit of a feint there. I know he is coming in. He is coming in. Freddie coming in at the end of lap 10. Or lap 9, actually. And MDG there has moved ahead of Andrew Pittsmith up into P10. As Freddie there coming in. What tyres is he going to put on here? As Freddie stops in his box now. Is he going to go to the end here? Probably would, because he's putting the mediums on. That yeah, he can go 16 laps. Tyre wear is not going to be too much of an issue here, I wouldn't have thought. And off and away he goes. Freddie back out onto the racetrack. No dramas.
Yeah, doing 10
Oh,
laps on
V10's had a
the...
spin. V10 Ultra's had a moment there and he's lost time. And Freddie there's going to move through up into 9th place. Oh, it's V10 again. He's out of the race. V10 Ultra.
That's gotta be a safety. It is a safety car.
That looked a bit dodgy for me. That looked like a bit of an Nelson Piquet situation there. I can't lie. That was suspect for me. Personally, I watched that happen. He looked like he.
Yeah,
I
but then
mean,
at the
I
same
don't want to be
time...
this conspiracy theorist, but Jesus.
Yeah, but why would P10 Ultra do it? He isn't related to Senna in any way.
No. I know. Obviously, it's only a conspiracy theory, and it's all tongue in cheek. And I'm now going to turn a blind eye to any suspicions that I have and pretend that they're not real.
If Papa Squanch takes out Tessa on the restart, I'm gonna have to agree with you. That is gonna be a Nelson Piquet story right there. But I don't think
I tell you what,
this was.
Senna needs now is a red flag, and then Papa Squanch just sends it into turn one, Ayrton Senna style on Prost at Suzuka 90, and just bam,
Yeah.
both of them out
This.
of the race. Senna comes through, takes the win, gaps 4 points in the championship going into the final round. Again, and now that I've said that, it's going to look really bad if it came true. So if you're watching, if Tezza ends up winning this race, you'll be watching this back and you'll hear all of this. If Senna wins the race, then this bit will be getting cut out. We'll have to wait and see. If Tezza wins the race, we're keeping this in. Tezza, it never happened. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You don't have to worry about it because it never happened. Ian's the witness there in the background. Ian, can you see anything, or are you still none the wiser? Yeah, you can't do share play between a PS5 and PS4.
Ah,
I believe. I think that's what the problem is. That's where the issue lies. But I want to update everybody on the situation coming into tonight. So obviously, Pezza leading the championship by 29 points. He sits on 250 compared to Senna, who's on 221. Senna needs to be outscoring Tezza, and he doesn't just need to be finishing ahead of him. He needs to be winning, and for a couple of drivers to get in between them. As things stand, Tezza's going to be taking points off of Senna. If the race were to end right now, then Tezza would be the F1 champion here at Motive for season 6, and it become the 4th different F1 champion here at Motive after just Jose, Gelram, and obviously Gertjan, who is sat alongside me in the box at the moment. But saying that, there's a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. Senna's going to be on a mission here on this restart. He's on fresh, hard tyres, as is Tezza, as is everybody, pretty much. In fact, no, the whole field is on fresh, hard tyres or medium tyres. I tell you what, though, little Greavy, we saw what pace he had on the hards in the first stint. Could he put these guys under pressure here, Tezza and Papasquanch? Maybe force them into a mistake here on those faster tyres. Who knows what he could do here?
I'd say Tezza definitely has the pace over Papa Squanch and Lil Greavy.
Even with little Greavy on those mediums.
I think so. I think so. But I have some kind of feeling Papa Squanch is gonna absolutely send it in the first lap after the restart and just try to pull up rest. And then it might definitely get interesting with Lil Greavy and Senna there.
Obviously, Papasquanch needs to be somewhat careful because it's going to be a bit of a red flag if he does end up, and I don't mean that in terms of the F1 sense, I mean it in terms of figure of speech, but obviously it's going to be, it's not going to look good if Papasquanch, Senna's teammate, goes flying up the inside and ends up, giving Tezza damage or whatever. Papasquanch needs to exercise some sort of caution here, but like you say, he's going to want to put the pressure on Tezza as much as he possibly can, knowing that there is a lot on the line for this man here who is 2 places behind him in the other Ferrari. But I think this should be the last lap on the safety car because the pack is almost, or the pack is all now lined up behind the safety car. So this should be the final lap on the safety car. Obviously, we're just coming through the end of the first sector, so we've still got a fair way to go before we get back underway. And obviously, to anybody watching this back afterwards, you are currently watching the premiere for this Las Vegas Grand Prix, the penultimate round of the F1 season here for season 6 at Motive. We don't stream the races live, but we do record them, and you're currently watching the first ever premiere. Or you might be watching the premiere afterwards. You might be watching the actual video itself after it's premiered. Who knows? But whatever the case, please do hit the like button and subscribe to the Motive Racing channel if you haven't already. If you want to get involved in the action, then also go to www.motiveracing.com and get involved in the Discord server and join any of our leagues on F1 or ACC or Project Cars too. And it'd be great to have you along for the ride. But we've currently got the drivers here coming into the final part of the lap. Tezza Muzza now dictates the pace, getting his tyres nice and warm, making sure that he's ready for the inevitable assault that is going to be coming on the back of him here from Papasquanch. Can Papasquanch play an absolute blinder? Can he do what Checo did to Hamilton back in Abu Dhabi 2021, which ultimately won Max the championship? It was that move that meant that the gap was too tight for Hamilton to come in and pit in that final safety car. As here we come into turn 1 here for the 13th time in this race. We've already seen a couple of moves going on in the background as MDG has moved ahead of Mark Bowe. Mark Bowe's lost a couple of places here, lost out to Freddie as well. So Freddie up into 8th place. Mark Bowe dropping down the order a little bit on this restart. Tezza has already got a gap of nearly a second over Papasquanch. That is exactly what he needed at the beginning of this restart. As Senna all over the back of Little Greavy at the moment, but a little bit too far back. Obviously, Little Greavy on his medium tyres will have the pace to defend from Senna. Senna's really got to be racing, has got to think outside the box here if he wants to get himself up this order quickly. Tezza will be just trying to break away whilst he can, using this opportunity here of clean air and Senna being stuck in a turbulent air of his teammate and Little Greavy. Does Papasquanch try and force Little Greavy into a mistake, which will allow Senna to swoop through here, because Senna is going to be losing time and he's going to be losing ground to his championship rival whilst this is all going on.
Already 1.5 seconds. It's exactly what Tezza needs to try and secure the championship this race already.
Yeah, and Senna's hesitation there would have only cost him even more here, so it's is currently not going his way at the moment as Little Greavy is making a move on Papa Squanch. Now Papa Squanch needs to let Senna go, I think, because otherwise he's just going to be holding him up here. So Papa Squanch would be very well advised here to reverse those positions into the final sector we come. As Binding Code there has made a move on Andrew Pittsmith for the final points playing position there up into P10. Here we go then, Senna with the run here on Papa Squanch, but Papa Squanch is trying to come back here a little Greavy, but Senna here is going to try and get the slingshot on both of them, and Papa Squanch needs to tuck in here. Senna looking down the inside into turn one, makes the move on his teammate up into the podium places. Now he can focus on little Greavy, and he's still within 2 seconds of Tezza, so he's currently in an okay position at the moment. Little Greavy on his medium tyres is going to be fighting this one with everything he's got though. Here we go, Senna. No DRS just yet because the DRS is not open until the third lap of this safety car restart, but he's still close to him at the moment. But just a little bit too far back to send one on the brakes at this moment in time. Senna, we know, obviously, has got the pace here tonight. He was on pole position in qualifying, a 10th and a half, I think. No, actually, it was only a thousandth of a second in the end because Tezza improved his lap considerably, but couldn't quite pip him to pole. Senna's got good straight line speed, I think. We've seen that so far, but can't get himself close enough to the back of Little Greavy to be in with an obvious chance of making the move. Again, just coming into these braking zones, it's just a little bit too far away at the moment. And all the time, Tezza is just disappearing off into the sunset here. Or disappearing off into the night sky, should I say, here in Las Vegas. As we're still on board with the Ferrari, who's still not close enough. He might have to wait for DRS. Well, they're saying that. He's got a nice toe here. Is he going to look to send one up the inside, maybe? Here we go. No, still too far away. Papa Squanch there in the background, having a look on his teammate. Look, he was trying to shape up a move there. I'm sure that he wouldn't actually go for it if push came to shove. But nonetheless, we're on board with the lead Ferrari driver here as they come through the final corner. Still too far back, though, into turn one for the time being.
I'm sure he wants to get past Haas in front of him as soon as possible, because everything Tessa is doing right now, he's just creating a gap.
We're on lap 3, aren't we? The restart now, so DRS will be enabled this time around, which will give Senna that little bit of impetus. Obviously, Papa Squanch has got DRS on him, but I think Papa Squanch should hopefully be playing the team game here and will not be wanting to get involved or wanting to thwart his championship challenge here for his teammate, as Senna got really close to the back of Little Greavy there. I thought for a second that they'd made contact, but they didn't. They're all good at the moment as Senna 3 seconds off at the back of Tezza. These next DRS zones are going to be absolutely crucial. These could be make or break moments in this race here for Senna. He needs to make it happen now whilst he's got the tyres to do so before they start to go off. I tell you what, the more time that he spends in turbulent air, the more time or the more laps he's going to be chewing into those into that rubber. As we jump back on board with him here, coming through towards the middle sector checkpoint.
DRS wide open.
Here we go. This could be the opportunity here. Senna breezing past Little Greavy and does it very easily there. But way before we get to the corner, Senna up into second place and the gap 2.5 seconds. The DRS there actually helping him close the gap to Tezza a little bit. So now Senna just needs to gap Little Greavy before we get to the next DRS zone. That's what he desperately needs to do now. He needs to try and make sure that he's out of the danger zone as they come through the final corner here, about to complete lap 15. The gap 2.2 with 10 laps left to go. This is not insurmountable here for Senna. The championship could go down to the final round.
And I'll tell you what, Tezza right now on 27% of the battery. Senna almost 50, burning a little bit now down to 40%. So he has the advantage on the battery.
I tell you what,
the extra horsepower available, he might be able to close down this gap and go for the win.
I tell you what, Tezza's going to be. I think Tezza will be aware that if he wins this race, he's gonna be the champion. So maybe that might play into Senna's hands here a little bit, because when Senna arrives on the back of him, or if he does, because he might not catch up to him, but at the rate he's going, it looks like he will. But say for example he pulls up onto the back of him and they end up battling. Tezza knows that he can win the championship if he wins this race. He might go a bit aggressive, maybe trying to get it done here and now, and that could advantage Senna, because then who knows, Tezza could make a mistake and could drop down to wherever, I don't know, off of the podium, behind Little Greavy, behind Papa Squanch, who knows. what could happen. But first, Senna needs to close up the gap to him. And at the moment, he is doing just that. He's gained quite a bit over the course of this lap, half a second quicker than his personal best on that lap as Papa Squanch and Little Greavy battling. And Papa Squanch has made the move there on those hard tyres. So now the hard tyres starting to come back at the mediums here. As Mark Bowes moved ahead of the Grieve up into P5. These two having an exciting battle. The Haas drivers doing a great job here tonight. Obviously, extended their contract in the week with the Haas team for next season. They've been driving with the Haas team since season 2. It will be their 6th season in a row as a pairing out on track as MDG's made the move here on Freddie up into 7th place. But yeah, they are the longest serving partnership in the Motive F1 League here. Little Greavy and the Grieve. I think they're the longest serving drivers as well. I know. Oh yeah, because Felix left, so they are. They are the longest
Felix
serving drivers.
is set to come back for next season though.
Is he? No way.
He will be coming back. I think he might even gonna be driving alongside Tezamasa in the McLaren, if I'm correct. I
That would.
will check there right now, but I think making the driver car, he is indeed the McLaren pairing of Tezamasa and Felix returning to the grid of Motive.
I'm excited to see Felix come back. I mean, he was always a quick driver. I remember on 2021, he had some really good pace, but his inconsistency, I mean, his consistency was horrific. I won't lie to you. It was awful. But he was one of the quickest drivers, over a lap. He'd be up there in qualifying, he'd get pole positions. It was just that I think his race finishing record, I think he finished 5 out of 20 races, I think he said himself in a season.
That might almost be as bad as Crazy Max.
Almost,
But yeah,
yeah.
I think he gained some consistency during the seasons I did, as we see a 3-second time penalty for track limit warnings for MDG and P8. But yeah, I think he gained some consistency along the line. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what he does. I think he is engineering right now in esports, not for the top esports guys, but I think for TF8. Is that how it's called? I am not 100% sure.
Well, Papa Scorch there moving ahead a little greedy up
88.
into 3rd place. Down the inside he goes. Little Greedy trying to get the cutback, but can't do it. Papa Scorch making a move on him again. So these two swapping places, left, right, and centre. Obviously, they have traded places a couple of times in the last few laps. And Papa Scorch here not giving up in this one. Little Greedy's medium tyres still hanging in there, though. And obviously, they would be because they're only 7 laps in. But the hard tyres at this stage do start to, I think, match the mediums. After about 10 laps, the hard tyres had a quicker tyre compared to the mediums.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is where Papa Squanch will start to gain pace over Leo Gravy. But as long as they are in DRS within the DRS of each other, I think they might even be able to battle it out until the last lap.
We see Little Greavy once again making a move on Papa Squanch here. So these two swapping places once again. MDG has got ahead of Freddy again, but Freddy's not giving this one up either as he now pulls to the inside. And who's got the DRS here? Freddy, I think, has got the. No, neither of them did actually. But Freddy keeping himself there, just squeezing back ahead of MDG. Great battle here between these two. Good respect as well. And Freddy again into 7th place. In the meantime, it looks like Tezza's pulled out the gap here to Senna. Just over 3 seconds now. Separating these two. As things stand here, Gayan, Tezza will be the Formula 1 champion here at Motive. Should we start getting excited now? He might do it with a round to spare here.
He might. Over 3 seconds, it was 2.2, I think, at the lowest point. I think if this continues for the next few laps, if Tessa doesn't make the mistake, he might be able to wrap it up. He just needs to stay calm.
Yeah, he is currently pulling away. Senna doesn't seem to be able to match his pace at the moment. I don't know whether his morale or his confidence or maybe his motivation has started to dissipate ever so slightly here. Still a few laps left to go. Still not over yet. Tezza could encounter some back markers. There could be a safety car for all we know at this point. It's all up in the air at the moment, but it is very much looking like it is going to be Tez and Muzzer who will be taking this championship. The gap in the championship, 29 points coming into tonight. It'd be 36 if he can get the win over Senna. If Senna would get the fastest lap, it would still be 35 points. And there's only 34 left on the table after tonight. So even if Senna were to get the fastest lap, he would still lose the championship here and now, with Tezza being in the lead.
Yeah, exactly. If Tessa is not gonna make any mistakes, it will easily be wrapped up. I think Tessa is mature enough to just take it home, don't take any risks. I don't think he is feeling the pressure at all. Seeing his lap time, seeing how confident he is on track, and as it stands, I won't be surprised at all if he takes this championship home.
Just 5.5 laps left to go here in Las Vegas. The first time we've ever raced at Las Vegas here at Motive Racing, and it's been, to be honest, it's been pretty uneventful, if I'm honest with you. We've had a few crashes, but battles, I don't know, there's not been too many battles out on track. I wouldn't say. If I'm honest, I've got to be honest. There's been a few, but
P3, P4 right now are the only places within a second. Saying there, actually, I think we have a move. Yeah, exactly. MDG moving up to P7. I think Freddy made a mistake right there. But apart from them and Leo Creevy and Papa Squanch, we don't have a lot of action today.
Freddie is trying to come back at MDG. I tell you what, these two have been the stars of the show. Noticing I'm gonna have to start a new video in a second because this one's gonna end at 60 minutes is the max, so I have to do it into 2 parts. It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
But Freddie here moving ahead of MDG easily as we come down the long straight, coming into the final sector, and Freddie back up into 7th place. But I reckon that MDG is probably going to be coming back past him again in a second. So this is just going to continue on to the flag between these two. It's going to be a case of who's in the right place at the right time. Basically, by the time we get to the end of the race, as here we come, the McLaren coming back at the Williams now to the outside, but Freddie on the inside is going to try and hold his ground and does so really nicely there, squeezing him out. What a great battle between these two, really clean. I know Freddie's come under some criticism lately for some of his incidents, but in this race here with MDG, he's been absolutely exemplary.
Yeah, perfect example of how to race, how to keep it clean, and just entertain everyone back at home. Brilliant drive from him.
Absolutely so. Looking like Senna is falling off at the back of Tesm even more now. You can see the gap 4.5 seconds, nearly 5 seconds between the front two. So I think that barring any mistakes, as you said, Gay, and I think Tezza should be able to bring this one home for another win. As MDG has moved back ahead of Freddie again here into 7th place. These two can't get enough of each other at the moment. Neither of them wants to wave the other goodbye. They come past and it's like, see you in a minute, or see you very soon. But
I think Freddy can get ahead once again. DRS wide open in the slipstream, pulling out right to the inside, and I think he is gonna complete it, or yeah, way before we even get to the braking zone. Just keeping it clean right here. MDG tucking back in.
Is 7 maybe an unlucky number for one of these two, or for both of these two?
I'm not sure.
It's like neither of them wants to finish in 7th place here tonight. As we've got MDG. Maybe they both. Maybe they do. Maybe they really want to. Oh, there's contact there. As MDG almost in the barriers there. It was close, but they kept it cool and tidy. And Freddie back down the inside into turn 1 there. As also, whilst we were watching that, Papa Squanch and Mark Bow were battling. And Mark Bow's moved himself up into 4th place on some pretty worn out medium tyres here. So Mark Bow getting a bit of a second wind here at the end. Is he going to maybe challenge Little Greavy for a podium place? I wouldn't completely rule it out at this point. Mark Bow showing that he's got some pretty solid pace here at the moment in 4th place.
And he still has half his battery left. Lil Greavy just under 10%. Mark at 50. Ooh, he is way deep into that corner. I don't think he's gonna have the DRS. So Papa Squanch might be able to get back on him. Never mind. Mark is just using his battery, checking out.
Yeah, but Papa Squanch here with the DRS. Oh, He
Ooh,
just let off. What did he let off for? Oh, he
passing
made the move
way
anyway.
slower than I expected. Yeah.
He led off, but Papa Scorch there moving ahead of Mark Bow up into fourth place. And Mark Bow was saying a moment ago he might be challenging for a podium. He's now 3 seconds off for a podium and pretty much nowhere in that one. Freddie once again moving ahead of MDG. In fact, they're now on the back of Nathan. So Nathan's now suddenly in this mix as well.
Three-way battle. That is set to be something exciting.
Here
The
we
two
are then.
Williams.
Yeah, final few laps. Oh, it's the McLaren MDG just
Oh,
squeezing around the outside there. Close but fair. And Freddie again doing exactly the move that he did on the last lap there on MDG. Just running him out of road, squeezing him out. And MDG had no option but to back out of it in the end.
3 laps left. Who is gonna take P7?
That is the question. And yeah, we're going to find out soon as I need to start a new. So,
There.
oh, Freddie back ahead of Nathan again. Oh, it's MDG. Go for a cut back
Ooh,
here. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. Beautifully done. Oh, no, he's cut the corner. Oh, mate, what are you doing? What is he doing? He just cut the corner.
he just completely outbroke himself, and then
Had to give
but
it
he
back.
let him back pass, to be honest. So that's fair play to him. And I'd say, as a sure hero motive, I'd say remove the penalty.
Yeah, I think
He
that would
just
be fair.
missed. He just missed the breaking point, gave the places back, and quite harsh penalty by the game there.
Yeah,
But
obviously
anyway,
the game wasn't to know that he was about to give it back, but I think
uh,
we can apply common sense there, obviously, because we've seen that. You know, we're human beings, and we've seen that it was clearly added at that moment. Oh,
oh,
it's so close to contact. MDG down the inside. What a move there!
but
That
that
was
came and
fantastic.
plate flying off. From who was it? MDG lost his front wing plate, and he's gonna suffer a lot of downforce loss.
He's just let them back through. Did he maybe think that he had gone a bit too aggressive there, as we're starting the penultimate lap of the race, and Freddie's still all over Nathan at the moment. Nathan though has picked up these places. And can he hold on to them here? MDG still with these two at the moment, but as you said before, with the damage on the left end plate, I tell you what, yeah, he's struggling now. He's not going to be going anywhere fast. That's MDG's race for 7th place over. It's going to be between Nathan and Freddie here for 6 championship points, and it's going to go down to I think down to the final lap here with a lap and a half left to go in this race. The race leader Tezamaza isn't too far away from starting his final lap, and it will be a championship taking lap as well. It'll be a victory lap here for him in more than one sense. But we're currently watching Freddie as he's still trying to find a way through ahead of Nathan at the moment. But Nathan doing everything he needs to do at this moment in time to get this 7th place in the bag. And it's been a fantastic battle from these guys.
Tezamaza starting the last lap. He had it in control all race. Incredible drive. Started in P2. Obviously, Senna having not the start he would have liked. Eventually got taken out by Cameron, and I think there will be reports done by Senna to get some kind of penalty for Cameron because it pretty much ruined his race.
But in all honesty, okay, I don't think it's changed the outcome of the championship. If I'm perfectly honest.
Nah,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
it's
so.
changed anything.
Seeing the pure pace, there was a restart. Senna obviously stuck behind traffic for the first few laps after that restart. We can pretty much see how much pace Tessa had around this circuit in the race. I doubt Senna would have won it. Looking at his pace, 5.5 seconds. He
but obviously
extended the gap.
obviously had too much to overhaul as well in the championship. You know, I think that whatever
Yeah,
happens next week, I don't think he's going to outscore Tezza by enough to even had a chance. So I think Tezza was a worthy champion here at Motive Racing. Knew he had to take the win here tonight to secure the title. Whatever happened with Senna, even if Senna gets the fastest lap here in second place, Tezza's going to outscore him by 6 points, which is what he needs here because he's got 29-point gap, 35 points going into the final round. 34 points left on the table next week for the final round at Abu Dhabi. Here comes Teza Mazza as he comes through into the final part of this lap here, and he takes the win, and he takes the championship here tonight at Las Vegas. What a night from Teza Mazza as he wins by 5 seconds in the end over Senna. Congratulations to our Season 6 Formula 1 champion here on the EA Sports Formula 1 game here on the PlayStation platform. What a fantastically consistent season. He's been up there in every round that he's been in. He just got a good start to this season, and he went with it, and he's delivered the goods here. What a fantastic job from him here, Gillian.
Mr. Consistency all season. That's what won him the championship. Incredible pace. I've obviously raced with Teza in a championship season I had myself. He has always been fast, incredible on the tires, incredibly consistent. Not as fast in qualifying, but always up there in the race. That's his strength. Lovely driver, and definitely deserved this championship.
Absolutely. Ian, what do you reckon? Teza must have taken the championship tonight. Well deserved. He's not there, but I'm sure that Ian agrees with us. He's just been there every single time. Senna didn't actually turn up for the first couple of rounds, which hurt him massively. He's been incredibly strong in the second half of this season. I think Senna's definitely been fastest driver in the second half of this season. But as I said, you've got to be there, you've got to be consistent, you've got to turn up to every round. And Teza, I think it's only